Basically ini kita ngobrol-ngobrol buat yang lagi nonton sama teman-teman my sister, my friends and family from all over the place. Tapi hari ini kita akan lagi bahas soal American life. So go back kembali ke Sinta, silakan.
Alright, so the first thing that we want to talk about is really the American experience. I think Aprilla pernah tinggal di Amerika juga, right? And you guys have your child actually going to school in LA. Maybe share a little bit. Sometimes Indonesians don't really know what is the American life. What they know is what they see on TV, right? What they know is like the Fifth Avenue, maybe kalau di New York, maybe like Rodeo Drive, but that's not really it, gitu loh. Mungkin kita mulai dari Yosi and Aprilla. Like, what was the American life? Is it really the American dream?
I think the good thing about living in the US is you can basically start from zero, and if you have the tenacity and the grit, you put effort into yourself and your work, and you do your due diligence, and you're consistent in what you do, you can make it because the system is already there. I have known a lot of people who came to the US with probably just a few thousands in their pocket, started working, and get their green card, and then they do it. They follow the system. They get the house, they get the white picket fence, and the car, and the school, and the good education. Yeah, you can make it, but it's tough. It's not always as easy or as dreamy as you would have seen it on TV, So, but you can, because the system is there. If you go to school, if you work hard, they will reward you for that. Not so much when you're in Asia, where you need, sometimes you can do that, but it's much harder because the system is not as proper and as built as it is in the US. That's the way I see it. If you're talking about the American dream, the American life, for us, it's hard work. It's hard work. It's hard work. But what I love about it, like I said, if you do work hard, they will reward you for it. They would appreciate you for it. Not so much in other countries. They don't really appreciate hard work. But where you are, you guys appreciate hard work. You appreciate good things. I mean, people who do good, you would highlight that and appreciate that. As an outsider, as somebody not an American, who's not right now, not living there, but we were there before. Yeah, that's how we felt.
I think Prilla lebih bisa mewakili sih when talk about American dreams karena dia lebih lama stay in America. Kalau me only visiting, like ada acara and then we come to America. What I like about Americans is like they have a lot of basketball court. That's all.
Yeah.
That's true. So like kalau buat siapa nama anaknya yang lagi kuliah di LA?
Raina.
Ya. So gimana pengalamannya anaknya kalian yang lagi kuliah gitu? Is it like apa dia juga kerja di sana? Apa dia benar-benar hanya sekolah? Like boleh nggak cerita sedikit?
So yeah, Raina works. I've always, like I said, mungkin because I was also raised in an American education way. So I've been living abroad since I was 11, and my parents raised me that way as well. I mean, yes, we have all the good things in life, but you need to learn to earn it, so that you can appreciate it. And that's what I pass on to my daughter. Although she has the means and the facilities that she would need to get her education, they will be more mature, I guess, and more responsible for themselves. So I ask her, if you need extra money, you need to learn to work, because everybody works at the end of the day. And you need to learn so that you can appreciate what you have instead of just, asking from, your parents. Basically that, yeah. And what I love and I really appreciate is that, again, for education system, you really reward kids who are doing really well in school. you really reward them. And my daughter is one of the few that is actually enjoying the reward system that the U.S. Education have. So right now she's getting a full ride scholarship as an international student, which is like super rare, I think, right, these days. But I really appreciate that. So she's having a summer school, and her summer school is actually New York. She's supposed to be in New York, but because of the pandemic, so she had to do it online, But I'm super grateful that she get a full ride scholarship from this school in New York for her summer's education.
That's super awesome. Maybe we can go to Jamarr to kind of share a little bit. Now you're living in Bali. That's awesome. That would be like our dream to actually just go live in Bali. So Jamarr, tell us a little bit, like as you growing up, or as you're living in the US, maybe even before you play basketball, how was like really the American life for you?
How do I say, the American life was fun, you know what I mean? Like growing up where I'm from, even though we weren't like rich, my community of people, we just always like had fun. That we had like that love just in our community with my friends and family, and we had a pretty close knit family. Like my aunts and uncles always got together, always did holidays together. You know, I think my American journey, my life in America was awesome. We didn't need for anything, even though my mom and my dad struggled in their own individual lives and in different ways. They're divorced now, so things didn't work out in that situation. But I think that overall, like needs wise and just feeling like we don't have enough was never my life. My mom always provided. We always felt like safe and secure. So yeah, and there was this basketball. He said basketball every day. Like me and my homies would just go to school, and I played basketball, football, and track. So after school, I would just play sports, and then I would just come home and then hang out with my girlfriend at the time or whatever. But it was just like I don't know. It seemed kind of cool. But I think towards after I graduated college, this is my 4th year in college, I started kind of seeing the system like crumble, and I'm like, this is cool and all, but someone has to be better than this. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like being frustrated with the sports and the politics in the sports, and I ended up quitting the team my senior year because I was just tired of being like the unsung hero. Like I was the nicest player on my team, but I didn't have like the political power because my dad wasn't the booster of the school. So the you know what I'm saying? It's just mad politics involved. So I was getting tired of it. I quit the team. I worked a regular job. I was selling windows and siding, like door to door. That ass for like 2 years, and then I got a sales job and I got promoted and I became a manager. But at that point right there, I was like, yo, I'm getting out of here. I had a desk, I had a shirt and tie on, I had my name tag, but I'm like, yo, I'm playing basketball for the rest of my life somehow, some way. I don't care what I got to do. So the American dream, actually, I think that so many people in America don't think that there's a life outside of America that can be equally as good, if not better. And I feel like there's a lot of things in other countries that kind of like can cater to your lifestyle if you just desire certain types of environments. For me, I like looking at water when I wake up, and it's cost like cheap. It's cheaper to live here than it is to rent an apartment in the hood in a dangerous area. Like like I can live on the beach in Bali, or I can live in the hood, like and be scared about if someone's gonna break into my crib or be around drug infested areas for less money, like in Bali, like for less money. So it's just like it was like a no-brainer to me when I first came to Indo, and I started seeing how like it's a different level of life, and I was already like a humble person. I respected the culture here, I respected the people here, and I tried my best to give back before I was even playing basketball. I was just coaching basketball. I worked for a church for 2 years. I was a youth pastor. So I just was seeing like the beauty of a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It was just different. Like, and I was open to that. And now being in Bali, that was always a dream, but I had some other things in the States I had to handle first. Those things are handled. So now I'm kind of free now. Yeah, man, overall, I think the American life is, like my older brother, my family's all in the States. My brother lives in Atlanta. My mom is in Jersey. My other little brother, they're in New York. And my cousin, I have family all over the East Coast, even the West Coast. I got Puerto Ricans in my family. Like, we got all my family is like in the States, basically. So I love my family. I love America. But for me, I felt my life was just best lived abroad. Just my personality, how I got down, how I operated. I just felt more. It felt easier. There was no social pressure living in Indonesia, because I didn't have to speak the language if I didn't want to. I didn't care what they was talking about socially. Like, oh, you have a minus. What's your minus? I don't care what you're talking about, bro. Like, in your glasses, like my minus. Like, what are you talking about? Like the social dynamics like were like non-existent. So I literally was here like in like an empty slate. Like no one knew me. I didn't know nobody, and I could be whoever I wanted to be. And I just became the best version of myself. You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, yeah, American life is great. I always go back to the States. I'm not saying none of that. I always will go back to the States. I'll go back to the States like twice a year. I mean, kick it with my friends in Jersey, kick it with my mom, my dad. They're still alive. Thank God for that and everything like that. So I go back home as much as I can. But during this pandemic, I was like, yo, I'm not going to the States. Like, I'm going to Bali. So I drove from Surabaya to Bali like 9 hours before they went PSDB. They was going to lock it down. So I was like, oh, they about to lock it down? I'm out of here. So I was like, I don't care if I have to sit in the travel for 9 hours. I don't care. I'll do it. And I just got here and things are working out. So I'm super blessed to be here. And
I was listening to you, and then you're talking about basketball and youth ministry at church and all that, and I'm thinking like, man, we're gonna do like a basketball youth ministry in Bali with you, right, Yosi?
Yo.
Like, can we do that? We're gonna kick it with you in Bali.
Let's get it. Yo, honestly, I'm really passionate. Honestly, I'm more passionate about coaching basketball than I am about playing. Like I said, the politics involved with the playing of the basketball. Obviously, I made it through, but honestly, like, I love coaching. Like this morning, I had a session with a kid in the States. He lives in PA. I wake up at 6:30 in the morning and I just train him. And I've been training him since like last July in the States when I was home. So like the youth basketball to me is like, actually it's how I was taught basketball. Because in my community, my dad wasn't around, unfortunately. So my basketball coaches and the older heads in my neighborhood had us running drills all summer. They had us playing basketball, football, teaching us how to like run and jump, and like just had us doing sports camps since I could walk. I was playing sports, and I learned it from like my older brother and from the older men ahead of me. So that's literally just what I do now. I just give back in that same essence because that's just what I know about how to train and how to teach kids. And I think it's very, very important. So yeah, now come to Bali or whatever we gotta do, we can make it happen because I'm here. I ain't going home for that.
You can train my son, Jamarr. He loves basketball and he's actually in basketball league, is it? With, I don't know, do you know Victor Roaring?
Yeah, Victor Roaring Basketball Academy.
Yeah. So he's in that right now, but he would love it if you can coach him sometimes.
You can do it right through Zoom. We can do it right through
Like
Zoom.
Zoom.
I'll get it right.
Look at that, Saykoji. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So,
Igor also wants to play basketball now. He was sharing with us and Date how he really wants to improve his physique, right? So now he said, yeah, so you can coach him. You can coach Igor playing basketball.
Man, no matter where you at, we can get to the next level. I can teach you. It's all good.
there you go.
Cool, good.
Talking about
excuses.
I feel like personally attacked by everybody.
maaf yang bulat.
Come on.
It's
From a
cool.
ball to a baller.
So, Jamarr, you said a lot of interesting things, and I want to piggyback on a few things that Aprilla said as well. And your view of the American life for your child is somewhat different in the U.S. for a lot of children that are here, that are especially in very under achieving or economic areas. The life that your child has, that you say they follow the rules and the system rewards you, the system for at least Black or underprivileged children is actually built against us. The same privileges that your child has to be able to come here in the U.S. and study hard and get a great education, which is amazing, is awesome. But personally, for me and for other young men like me, we didn't have that same opportunity. I grew up in what we call the project, in the ghetto. And I followed the system. I stayed the straight and narrow, and I walked the straight line, and I got good grades. But unfortunately, it didn't open any opportunities for me. I started playing basketball a little bit later in life in order to be able to create some opportunities. It was something that my dad and I shared, but he never trained me how to play basketball. I just started picking it up. It wasn't until then that I realized that there was some opportunities for me that would open up. So when I hear Jamar's story, in the sense of we're two kids, we're coming from two different backgrounds. I'm growing up in a very distressed economic situation where my mom is on welfare, my dad's long gone. I live in the projects in a very, very dangerous neighborhood where I've seen almost half of my friends killed, or incarcerated before the age of 13, and trying to get to a place where I can at least just be able to have everything else that everybody else has. Here it is, Jamarr, he's in a great situation where he's going to school, he's educated, and by playing sports, that opens the opportunity for you. So mind you, Jamarr, what would your life be like had you not had sports to open the door and be able to travel and things of that nature, versus what other people have? So for me, it was the same thing, but I didn't have an easy path to it. I took the long road, and I had to work extremely hard. I had the grades, still couldn't get into any of the good high schools in order, and then to have to, eventually get to my dream college of Temple almost, 2 or 3 years later than I wanted to. And like you, Jamarr, I wanted to continue playing basketball, but the reality was I didn't have the same opportunity to think that there's a life outside of the U.S. that would be, formidable for me. So I had to start working. So I gave up my dream of continuing playing basketball, which is something that I absolutely loved. I did the track, I did the football, I did all that during high school, but at the same time, those opportunities weren't there. I was a 3.8 GPA average. And even with that and going to college and finishing at Temple, I still didn't have a good job opportunity that was offered to me. I remember being a graduate, and still the job opportunities that were available to me weren't the same as the ones that for the people that graduated with me. And I just thought that was so unfair. And it was only because of the color of my skin. And that was so frustrating, because I felt like I followed the system. I did exactly what I was supposed to do, but yet the system was built against me. And had I thought to just leave this country and try to do something else, I tell you right now, I would have done it. I would have done it. So it's funny how you see, April, you see the American dream. Your picture of it is exactly what I wanted, but I couldn't have. Jamarr, you lived a part of it, but saw a better life somewhere else. So it's just interesting how the different backgrounds and dynamics work. But systemically in this country, if your skin looks like mine, you don't have those opportunities.
Yeah.
But can I piggyback on that one time? Because so this is what happened for me. When I was playing, when I was in college, right, I'm the only one in my family to go to college. The first one in my family. So I actually had a good GPA in high school, and I actually had offers to play actually at big Division I schools for football and basketball. But unfortunately, even in the Black family, sometimes there's this racism or whatever it is, especially in the step family. There's favoritism for kids. So my stepfather at the time didn't give me the opportunity, didn't show me that I was getting college letters. And he told me how Widener University, a Division III school, was the best school for me to go to. So I didn't know nothing about that. I just went to Widener University because he told me it was the best school. Low key, I had offers from Long Island State and Duquesne University and American University. I could have been in the West Coast playing ball anywhere. But anyway, that's not the point. The point was when I was in college, I really started just seeing how, as I was still being loving and caring and doing what I was supposed to do, it wasn't moving me forward. And a lot of my teammates, they quit the team before I did, and they went to different schools because the coach was just super favored about a couple guys. But then when I quit the team, I started working a regular job, right? And I mean, it was like a labor job. I'm walking door to door in the heat, in the snow, in the rain, knocking on their door. I still remember the pitch. I can pitch you right now and sell you some windows. I just learned it.
Go
Like,
ahead.
you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
Hey,
I dare you. I want to buy a window.
Hey, I'm Jamarr from. No, it's kind of too long, but it's not long. But like basically, when I was in those opportunities, I was working this job, and this guy came up to me, and I was like in the store, like we did retail as well. He said I started pitching him, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to do this for the rest of your life?" And I'm like, "Nah, I want to play basketball," and I'm like 21. He's like, "Well, follow me to my car." So I'm like, "What? Like, I don't follow you to your car, bro?" Like, I ended up walking with him to his car because I'm just got curious to see what he's talking about. He opens up his trunk and he pulls out this DVD called The Secret, and it's about the law of attraction. And he was like, "If you do what the DVD says, yo, everything you want in your life will happen." And I already was like spiritually minded, like I said, I was like in church and all that. But when he told me that, man, every day I would write, "I'm playing basketball overseas." I would say it, I would read it, I would like visualize it. I didn't have no friends. I didn't care about nothing. I didn't party. I just was so locked in on that vision that a year later, I'm playing in men's leagues and all kinds of stuff, and I get an opportunity I hear about an opportunity in Maryland. I don't have a whip. I don't have money. Man, I'm talking about when I say like the universe conspired to assist me to manifest this dream, like that's literally what I was telling my homies in the States this. I was like, yo, I'm going overseas to play basketball. Like, man, you ain't going overseas. Like you mean you going overseas? Like, where's that? Like, where you gonna go? I'm like, bro, I don't care. I'm out. They didn't hear me though. But then now these same homies are looking at me like, bro, he's really in Indonesia, living there. Like he's living this life. And I'm just like, yo, like a lot of these opportunities I realized like in my life, and even now, because I play for the Indonesian national team. It's not like China or Russia or Europe, but it was hard. And I'm playing against like the top countries in Asia, Japan, Korea, like Taiwan, all these big major countries are playing against Indonesia, and I'm the only dude on the team. And I don't got nobody. I got no reference. I'm just going off my spirit. So I just basically was like, all I'm saying is that like, yo, the opportunities aren't, especially for our community. And trust me, I grew up in the projects too. Like Sicklerville, you can drive down Sicklerville. I grew up in Windy Pines, so you can see it. That's still there. Like I grew up right there. So like, but my mom and my family, we always were forward thinking. And she always tried to. My mom was a single mother. She raised 3 boys. Like she was slaving. I never see my mom. We actually had a code that if someone knocked on the door when she was gone, if the knock wasn't like this, we never could open the door. You got to knock, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we could never open the door. We was raising ourselves so much. We was living in our community, but it was like the village raised us. You know what I'm saying? Like and our friends and family was there for us. So what I'm trying to say is like, yo, like I hear what you're saying about the American dream, and I know it's mad corrupt, and I feel it, man. That's why I left. I'm like, yo, I don't care about this. Like I got to do what's best for me somehow, somewhere. It has to exist. But I also think that a lot of times we don't know that these spiritual practices and, actually going internally to manifest out of yourself these opportunities. Yo, I would never have imagined. I never thought of Indonesia in my life. I never even heard of it before. I never thought I would live in this country. I never thought I would play basketball for this country. All the things that I was just writing and dreaming and hoping manifested because of my persistence. Like, and I think that's what the American dream is. Like, you can create something that you want in your life, regardless of where you are. And in that passion, I'm here, bro. Like, yo, I'm like, yesterday at Deadass, I'm driving on the motorbike. We were like at this place. I'm driving on the motorbike. I'm like, bro, like if I just show this on camera, people in the States were like, yo, where the hell is he at? Like, what is he doing right now? I'm driving a motorbike. I'm big as hell on the NMAX, driving and shit. Like, yo, it's like, I think it's just like you can create whatever life that you want. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's supposed to be the American dream.
Yeah.
Not for a lot of times, not for minorities. A lot of times, not for people in power situations. But you can, in America, people believe it at least. You can create the life that you want. At least the way that manifests. Sometimes it's in America. Sometimes it's outside. But for me, money was never my motivation. I never wanted to be rich. I just wanted to have peace. I just wanted to have a peaceful lifestyle. You know what I mean? Money, all that just came with it. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, I just wanted to piggyback on that and just be like, yeah, it's definitely, I feel you, but I think that it's real. Like, it's real out here that we can actually manifest and assist in creating a life, especially for our youth. That's why I coach the youth. And I'm teaching them these things. I'm like, yo, you gotta visualize yourself making the shot before you shoot the ball. Don't even shoot if you don't think you're gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? I'm teaching them like how to use their mind, because that's everything. You know what I'm saying? Mind empowerment, like that's all I do. And it's just like, I think that it's powerful, man. Like it's powerful. And whether in Indonesia, that's what I think. Even in Indonesia, they have a mentality that they don't even think that there's a possibility to go to America, let alone have the life that they want. So even in Indonesia, the cultural framework is still like closed in. They don't see the opportunities outside of their own country, or outside of, you know, or making it to the top level of their own country. Same way Americans do, or in certain classes. But that's just mindset, and it sucks that we've been conditioned that way. But each person has to take responsibility over their mind, empower and direct their mind. That's our responsibility as individuals on this earth. We all got to do that. You know what I'm saying? And whether you in Indonesia or not.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you did. You basically you
did it, yeah.
And got out of, you know, the hood and, you know, the projects, and here you are. I mean, you work hard, so it's
mentally tough.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people break. I really like your story, because I think that story can be told to a lot of our youth, because we're so unboxed to think that we have to make it here. And that's not necessarily the truth. You just need to be able to get to a point where you understand what do you want from your life and see if it's available anywhere else. And the funny thing you said, not to take up time, but I draw back on what you're saying, because Russell Simmons wrote a book just on that. And you just met him recently.
Yeah, like a few days ago.
He is very deep into manifestation and in meditation. So he visualizes what he built with Def Jam based on those same very principles you just talked about.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to go to Putra, and then I know like maybe Saykoji would have questions too. This is why we bring the two of you in. So Putra, you live in New York. Tell us about your American dream.
Oh, man. My American dream. That was a bad dream. Okay, so the thing about Indonesian is, I guess, like to most countries in the world, we grow up so much seeing the American life. That's why a lot of us think that American life, the American dream, it's more real to us.
Yeah, I agree.
But when we get there, or when I got there, the reality kicks in, and I'm like, "Yo, this sucks," especially for an immigrant. Right? Look at it this way: I was there to be in the film industry. I was there. I went to New York Film Academy. I wanted to be an actor, and then when I got there, who am I kidding? You know, like, what is a little Indonesian boy doing in the States, in New York, trying to be an actor? All people saying, like, first of all, they don't even know where the hell Indonesia is. So how can they appreciate it? Yeah, true. Second of all, you know, like when I say I'm Asian, oh, okay. So do you do Kung Fu? I'm like, oh, shit, that's what they expect out of, you know, Asian actors. So, and then I'm like, okay, if I'm an actor there and nobody's going to hire me because I can't do Kung Fu, I might as well try to direct movies so I can cast myself in the movie. So the next year I studied being a director. And when I learned there, as an Asian director, if I'm not Ang Lee or like any other who can direct Kung Fu movies, then nobody's going to produce my movies. So the third year I learned producing so that I can produce my own movie and then act in my own movies. Because I know that apparently they're very prejudiced about how who goes in the entertainment industry, especially if you're from a different race, and they were like, okay, they expect you to be, all right, what can you give us? And if we're just some random immigrant that doesn't do any, you know, special, that doesn't have any special skills, I can't make it there. I don't want to go up on my American experience to go to waste. Yeah. So that's why I try to take what I learned from the States and try to bring it back to Indonesia. But so a lot of Indonesians like, why don't you just stay in the States? Yeah, I can't even work in the States, man. They're gonna catch my ass and they're gonna send me back anyway. Because like, I went there from 2004 to 2008. The wound was still fresh from the 9/11. All right. First time I got there, they held me in the airport for 4 hours. This is because I was from Asia. I was a single man with a green passport, and they held my ass for 4 hours for no reason at all. So I'm like,
9/11.
that was past. Oh, that was 3 years after 9/11. I'm like, why do you do this? So I'm like, that's when I started to be like, oh, American dream, my ass. Yeah, this is reality kicking in, and I'm like, okay. So I guess throughout my experience in the States, I learned more on the harsh reality of the American life, because all I see in the American dream, American life is just like all the glamour and everything that they sell on TV. But once you're there, I'm like, yo, I understand. And then I listen a lot to hip hop, and they will talk about struggle. At first, I'm like, yeah, struggle. And then I'm like, when I got there, oh shit, I understand. So this is what you're talking about. Especially, I don't know, my family, yeah. A lot of my family, I'm an Adonese. Whenever my family hears that I went to the States, they were like, oh, they were so proud. And I'm like, no shit, But even like when I see how they live in the States, honestly, I'm like, yeah, is this your American dream? Like they just go day to day, like living their very menial jobs. I'm not saying like that's bad. I'm just saying, is this your dream? Is this your ideal dream for like your life? Because like I certainly wouldn't, I personally I wouldn't settle for that. But to each his own. But all I'm saying is that most of my family members, Manadonese family members, they just love going to the States, even though they would give up everything in Indonesia. So I switched it back. So I'm like, instead of trying to live there, I'm trying to live in Jakarta with that mindset, with that mentality, with the experience that I had in the States. And to me, it's more rewarding because I understand where Jamie and Jamarr is coming from. Like, at least I try to go there, and I'm like, for sure, my struggle is not compared to how you guys were brought up in the States. I only had like probably 5% of it. Then I'm like, fuck that shit. And then I had the mentality of Jamarr, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I can make it big outside of the States, because in my whole life I've been brainwashed saying like, yeah, America is the place to go. America is the way, especially in the film industry. Yo, Hollywood is like the mecca for the film industry. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I've always thought that, and when I've always kicked myself when I thought that I couldn't make it in Hollywood. But then I'm like, no, I can definitely try to bring it back to Indonesia instead of trying to live the American dream. I guess to me, the American dream, it looks very polished on the outside. It's like a Hollywood movie, It looks good, but like when you try living it, I'm like, yeah. I guess I just learned the American mentality because, yeah, I mean, even when I was there, yeah, I mean, okay, in New York, it was a very melting. It's a big melting pot, right? So I didn't really feel any racism or like prejudice against me. But when I got there, I went to LAX. That's where they held me for 4 hours, and that's that's why I never liked the West Coast.
Don't hate.
Yeah.
Don't hate.
I mean, I prefer the East Coast. Yay.
Yay.
Hey, that's good.
Saykoji, if you have any questions, I know probably like from like all of this, mungkin ada pertanyaan.
Something to add, like myself bekerja sebagai seorang rapper, as my profession as a rapper, as a musician, very influenced by American hip hop. I heard hip hop since I was in elementary, masih SD, because of my sister. Jadi, she's the one that actually listens to a lot of rap, hip hop music in the house when I was a kid. But I did not understand any of that. Nggak ngerti. Ini apa? Ini kayaknya like they're like talking in music and very aggressive. Like, what are they mad at? That's what I had. Yang ada di pikiran tuh kayak begitu. When I was a kid, kayaknya hip hop music is like so aggressive. Like, what is they're trying to say? So the first time I actually understand what hip hop and rapping is about is when I listen to like Indonesian hip hop. they're telling stories of their daily lives from an Indonesian perspective. So I started to understand, rap is storytelling. You tell your story, your perspective on life. Why was those hip hop music that I used to hear when I was a kid sound so aggressive? Because their life was aggressive. There's so many things they need to tell, they need to let it out from their heart. That's why it sounds so aggressive. Me as an Indonesian and starting to like hip hop, like I don't have to go through that part of life. Like Jamar, you live in Bali. Like, is it aggressive there? Is it hard to live there? I mean, like, it's the sun, it's the beach, it's
You want to live in Bali.
it's chill. I'm pretty confused. Like when I see a lot of my friends who they don't really live, it's not a hard life that you're living at the moment. I mean, you try to copy whatever American hip hop do and say in the lyrics, but at the same time, I mean, you don't really live that life. You don't live in the projects. You don't do those kind of things. I mean, like when I when I went there, I mean, I had this opportunity to stay 1 week because my manager helped me book a hotel in Brooklyn, in No Strand, Atlantic, Fulton Street. I get to see the life, the actual life. Like I've been idolizing a lot of rappers, like African American people who lives, in the neighborhood, and I get to see it myself. I mean, sometimes, people are people. I mean, if you're kind, if you're good, you can always have a good life. You can always have good friends. You can always, everywhere you go, people hustle. I go to a barbershop, cut my hair, and then I go back to where I live. I mean, I get to see the real life. Like I talk to people, like they don't know where Indonesia is, just like Putra said. A lot of people want to buy sneakers, like expensive sneakers in Indonesia. I know Putra like to collect some of them.
I got it.
but even homeless people, they're wearing Jordans, like even like old Jordans are like precious. Like people wanna, you wanna show. But for di sana, Air Jordan is not like you go to a Nike store the season change. A lot of things go to discount. So you have this perspective on how American life is. But actually, wherever you go, life can be good.
Yeah.
And for me as an Indonesian, like I'm doing hip hop music and try to tell my story from an Indonesian perspective, life is still good. I mean, you can actually make it here. I would like to say that I use the inspiration from hip hop music. Successful rappers is that the spirit that they put in their lyrics is what fuels me to make my own stuff. But I don't have to like replicate everything. Everything that they do, just trying to make me feel like this is real hip hop. A real is real. Whatever you're going through in life, that's real. I mean, you don't have to making music or trying so hard to be American, trying so hard to be like you're like real from the hood. If you're not from the hood, I mean, like tell what you have, your experience, and then the good dream, the actual dream and the good life will come to you. I mean, you will actually experience it.
Yeah. So I want to talk to Yosi. Mau pakai bahasa Indonesia juga boleh if you want to like mix it up. Karena I think Yosi as a part of Project Pop, you don't even know, but they do like all this like parody songs and everything. But like I think Project Pop itu is very unique karena kalian like stay true to who you guys are gitu. Kayak yang berapa tahun yang lalu, dangdut is the music of my country. Like you, like, like you're not really trying to be anybody else. Like like just to piggyback apa yang dibilang sama Saykoji gitu ya. Boleh nggak ceritain sedikit? Sebenarnya tuh Project Pop tuh apa sih? What are you guys trying to do gitu? Apakah memang like you guys telling a story from these songs?
He's just trying to feed his family, Sinta.
Project Pop this year is celebrating this month actually, celebrating the 20th.
Yesterday, actually.
Yeah, yesterday, celebrating their 24th anniversary.
Wow.
I'm that old? Oh my God.
No, we're that old. That's why my time in the U.S. and my daughter's time in the U.S. is a completely different season.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Different time.
Yeah.
But we can always see ketika sudah sampai at some point is God's plan. God's plan. We can see the big pictures now. Kenapa harus begitu? there's a process. Memang in terms of creativity, we always stick to the original thing. Kita mau menjadi original aja, because apa yang kita buat, apa yang dipercayakan sama kita, what trust for us is something not easy actually, karena we have to make an album dengan lagu-lagu original. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Karena sense of humor orang kan beda-beda ya.
Beda-beda.
At some jokes people can laugh, but not all jokes people have the same sense of humor. Ada yang cuman tersenyum, but some people ada yang ketawanya sampai guling-gulingan. So we find out that making a comedy song is not that easy, really hard. We have to process that all the time, to find our originality. Now we know what kind of songs that Project Pop is, tetapi it's a process. Nah, hubungannya ini juga kalau dari pertanyaan tersebut, we believe juga every one of us, God give us country. We don't choose our country, but God chooses that country for us to live. It's about originality. So I believe also, mungkin if we compare to the other country, we feel that country has a better dream than our country. We sometimes comparing to our country to other country. I believe this one thing. Kalau Tuhan kasih kita negara, there's something about our identity of Indonesian. Mau itu di Amerika, when Indonesian goes to America, there's something about identity. Karena Tuhan yang pilihkan identity itu yang we bring to the American. Maybe di sana kita akan useful for Indonesian also, but maybe we're gonna be useful for others, right? Jadi nggak ada yang salah dengan kehidupan kita. That's what I learned. Mungkin yang membuatnya kita we seen it in a wrong way because we're comparing, because we want something better, but God's plan already better for us. Yeah. That's what we need to find out.
I also wanna, if I may, do we still have time?
Yes, of course, yes.
If I may, like 2 minutes. 3, okay. I completely understand. Well, I cannot say I completely understand what Jamie went through when you were younger or what Jamarr went through when you were younger, because I never lived in the projects. But I believe everybody has their own journey in life and have their own struggle, especially, when it comes to the mindset. And what I was telling you about my daughter's journey to school, that was just a highlight. The BTS, the behind the scene, the tears, the fasting, the praying, the asking for God's plan in her life. That wasn't told. Because I didn't think we have the time, but I believe that maybe Jamarr has to go to Indonesia, but I think Jamie has to be in Jersey. Are you in Jersey now or Philly?
Philly.
Oh, in Philly. You're supposed to be in Philly so that you will meet Sinta and have a family with her, Because, if you decided, if God opened the wisdom at the time for you to move back to Indonesia, the way Jamarr did, maybe you wouldn't have met Sinta, So that was God's plan for you to be with Sinta, and that was God's plan for Jamarr to be in Bali, Indonesia. So and I completely agree with what Igor said. That everywhere we go, life could be good. So I don't think it's American life. I think it's just life in general. And what was my take from it is I was just being grateful. Raina didn't get into her dream school. She got rejected because maybe the color of her skin, maybe she was an international student, as a status, but whatever that life passed on to her, we're grateful for it. And we believe that when the opportunity opens up for her is what God has planned for her. And we're just grateful and take it in and do the best that we can, do our part, and believe that God will do his part. That's all. I think in life, that's all we could do is just do our best in whatever situation, wherever God has placed us. Whether it's in Philly, whether it's in Bali, whether in Jakarta, like Putra and Igor, like us, whether like my daughter Raina in LA, wherever she is. And I already told her, I said, you do your part, work hard. And the rest, let God do the rest. If it's not according to your plan, I believe God has better plan, you know.
Mm.
So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for Jamie being in Philly, so that you will have a life with Sinta.
So I want to ask this. I know like some of you probably have to go to do other things. Let me ask this. For Jamarr and Jamie, what is your favorite Indonesian food?
Ooh.
Goreng ya.
Yeah, nasi goreng, yo. I had some last night. I ate with my hands too. I was like, I didn't care.
Okay.
See, all Americans I ask ya, Sinta, what is it? Nasi goreng. Nasi goreng, nasi goreng. Kita mau makan nasi goreng.
We love Chinese food. In America, we call it Chinese food. So it's always like fried rice with some kind of meat, but that's not really like Chinese food. But nasi goreng is the closest equivalent to that. Like some fried rice and meat. So it's just like, oh yeah, it's banging. Yeah, we need that.
All right.
Nasi
So,
goreng.
Putra, what's your favorite American food?
American food. All right. Well, since the Chinese food was invented in America, is that considered as an American food?
Chinese takeout.
Yeah, right. Shoot. All right, American food. Well, I gotta go with burger or or any sandwiches, because that to me that's an American food. Other than that, it's just food made in America. All right. And if I want to go to burger joint, well, I gotta go to the East Coast. Apa sih namanya? Shake Shack Shake Shack lah. But I would definitely kill for that Philly cheesesteak. I don't want to wait in line, but I do want that Philly cheesesteak.
All right. So
good.
how about Yosi and Aprilla? What's your favorite American food?
I'm so basic. I like Chick-fil-A.
Oh, wow.
Chick-fil-A.
I like Chick-fil-A, and I like the fortune cookie in Panda Express. That's it.
What's up, Yosi?
I like In-N-Out Burger.
Yep.
Hey.
Yo, I got love for East Coast, but I'm sorry, In-N-Out.
Yeah, In-N-Out got it. In-N-Out got it. It's
In-N-Out.
much better.
In-N-Out is good, man, but it's not that good, man. I was like, I thought it would be better, but it's good though. I ain't gonna lie, it's good.
We're so not refined. I'm sorry, Jamie and Sinta, if you're expecting us to answer like some fancy restaurant like in New York State.
That was perfect.
No.
So not refined.
Hold on. For those who lives in East Coast, like, what would you say is better than In-N-Out on the East Coast side?
New York pizza is good sometimes.
Oh, yes.
The thin crust.
No, but
New York pizza is the best.
The only thing that can, is equivalent to In-N-Out is the 53 and 6 halal guys.
Yeah, boleh.
Well, yeah, I mean, halal guys is pretty good. It's $5.
I mean, like, oh man, especially when you line up after, like, in winter, you just smell it. This was back before the Instagram and all that. You have no expectation, you just smell it from far away. When you have it, like, In-N-Out is out of here. Oh yeah.
No, hold on. Like, I'm talking burgers, man. Like, not like.
I can't. I like I said, for burger wise, In-N-Out joint is definitely the best. I gotta say.
Okay.
What about you, Jamarr? You live in East Coast.
Nah, man. I wasn't like taken back. Like, this is like the best burger I ever had. Like, I had better burgers than that. Like, just mom and pop shops, like just like a homemade burger.
Yeah.
I thought it would just be like better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I had
that's true.
expectations for it. I guess it was just like a regular burger to me though. It wasn't super crazy. Like, I don't know.
Let
To
me
us Indonesian, that's the American dream.
ask you,
Cheeseburger.
and then everybody else can answer this too. What do you miss the most about being in the States?
I would say just like the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Going to like basketball games, going to concerts.
Oh yeah.
Like the entertainment. Like every time I went home to the States, I always went to like Powerhouse and like all the dope concerts in Philly. Like that was just awesome. Seeing all the stars up close and hearing their music up close, stuff like that.
But you, Putra?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's covered it all. Going to watching sports games, like watching basketball game. I'm not that big of a fan, but like if it's there, like for sure you're definitely gonna watch it. and being able to see to watch concerts like on a weekly basis, that's, to me, that's crazy. Like, all I do in the States, just open Ticketmaster and just like see all these. Yeah, man. I just like, even like small concerts, but like everything is there. Especially I'm in New York, so all I gotta do is just pick, and the entertainment is crazy there.
Yeah.
Jamie and Jamarr, you know what ibu-ibu means?
Yeah, I think so.
It will be a mommy answer. I miss Costco and customer service and
Customer
Target.
service.
Jay.
Target and Costco and customer service. I like, the thing about Indonesia that is lacking is variety. You guys have, it's like a candy store. Costco, it's like Disneyland, Costco, everything is there, okay?
Kita ada kok di sini, ada Lotte Grosir.
Even comparable.
And pricing is good. Your sales are amazing. Black Friday. Those sales
Cyber
after
Monday.
Christmas, before Christmas, after New Year, before New Year. I mean, you guys are crazy. The outlets, Whole Foods, and and all that. Oh my goodness.
That's a very Ibu Asian answer.
I'm guilty too because I love
Asian moms, aunties, and grandmas, they all have the same answer.
Yeah, I said moms. That's why I said moms. Yeah, kan?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you are blessed. Everyone, I think, in the U.S., I mean, you are blessed with variety. You have a lot. Yeah, we only have certain limitations, and then I think we are forced to buy certain things because there's no other variety. There's no other options.
Yeah,
We're just forced to have that and accept that.
We know that when people come to visit here, we have to put together a shopping list.
I'm sorry that I did that, Jamie. My bad. I made you walk in South Philly. My bad.
South Philly, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. So for our Indonesian, if you were to leave Indonesia and live in the U.S., what would you miss most about Indonesia?
A lot of things.
Mine is
Food.
Gojek.
Go food.
foods and the massage in Indonesia.
Massages, food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Bali. I was getting a massage every day this January. He's like, every time he calls, it's like, what are you doing? Getting a massage. Shut up.
We would basically miss also the price, though. The price of everything compares to the price of services compared to what you guys have in the U.S. Everybody in the U.S. has to do DIY unless we're conglomerates. In Jakarta, you don't have to do DIY.
Yes.
Oh, so I have a question for Jamarr then. Where do you buy your clothes?
I don't buy clothes. I don't. I go to H&M. H&M has like some extra, anything 2XL.
Yeah, H&M is good.
But for shoes wise, I got an endorsement for sneakers, so I got that on deck, and I got a couple pair of jeans I just swap in and out for like a black pair, a white a denim pair, some slacks, a blazer.
He lives in Bali. He doesn't need clothes.
That's true.
You can go around bare chest, everywhere.
Yeah. If I have that body, I go around bare chested too in Jakarta.
Stupid, yo. Which is stupid. Yo. I don't buy clothes here. I don't buy clothes.
Jamarr got all the good Jordans sent to him before us normal people get it.
Yo, hey, facts. We ain't playing. Look.
Here you go.
Here we go. No! Why you gotta do this?
Hey.
Oh, snap! Oh, you got the light smoke gray. Hey, man, I'm telling you, Jamie. Jamarr, oh, man. Why you gotta do that?
There you go.
No.
I mean, it's depressing enough for Putra just to stay in his apartment. Now you gotta show that.
Hey, man, why you gotta call me out like that, man?
It doesn't come in your size, sorry.
Oh, it hurts. Oh
If there was
man.
ever a modern day old man living in a shoe, that would be Putra.
Facts.
All right, so one more question before we go, because I know like it's been an hour. One more question. Maybe we'll start with Yosi and Aprilla first. Like, so what's your everyday like? Not in the US, like just di rumah gitu. Like, what's your everyday like? Because I know like you're busy with your baking company, your bakery, and then Yosi is busy maybe with Project Pop schedule. What's everyday look like for you guys? Maybe with kids, Ruben,
Oh,
right?
definitely. We're living the glamour life, Sinta, of course, right? Every day, we're like Igor. We're mates at home. Igor works for his pH balanced water pool. Okay, he's a pool boy. Okay, Igor's a pool boy. I'm a maid. He's a driver.
Hey, you gotta live to serve, right? live to
Hey, you
live
guys
to serve.
don't live like you guys don't live like the Kardashians. Like that's what people think, right? Tentang celebrity.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, you
Oh no, definitely we do, but we like to conceal it. You know, we like to conceal it. In our torn
We're better,
jeans.
we're better.
Yeah, definitely we do. Yeah, but we don't like to brag. You know, we don't like to
Yeah.
brag and clothes. You know, we conceal all that.
So how about you, Jamarr? What's your everyday look like in Bali?
Right now, I'm running, basketball training. So I coach basketball online right now. I'm actually making a basketball platform. So I made it called JJ Elite Basketball. I basically work that like all day, either texting, making merchandise, or coaching the kids physically, or just planning moves for the future, partnerships, and different types of events. Like I work that basically all day, whether on my phone or coaching the kids, and I try to be finished by sunset so I can go grab a beer and chill at the beach somewhere. But besides that, yeah, I just run my business right now, like, and then I just enjoy Bali when I'm not working. So actually things are opening up now. Like things are open to like 11. So there's been some more parties, and Mexico just opened up. Like a lot of places are opened up now. It's like 11. So my birthday's tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out a way to turn up in a safe way. So I'm gonna probably do some house party or something tonight, and then do something tomorrow. But mostly I just work my business until like 6 p.m., 5:30, and then I just enjoy Bali.
Wow. How about you,
Happy
Saykoji?
early birthday, Jamar.
Yeah,
birthday.
Thank
we'll
you.
celebrate. Yeah, because my daughter's birthday is also tomorrow.
Oh,
Dang,
wow.
what? That's kidding.
Birthday. So Saykoji,
That's
how about
awesome.
you? What's your daily activity? I mean, I kind of know.
He's a pool boy, Sinta. I told you that.
Poor boy.
Without the lockdown, without the PS baby, like basically we drive the kids to school. We do our morning prayers with the family, drive them to school, go back, and this is my office. Like I go back here and then do music. So most of the things that I do is here in this room. Like this computer is what I use for like Zoom and making music videos, editing videos, visuals. Behind me is the computer that I use to record, make songs, record vocals. That's it basically, and then pick up the kids again later. Because at the same time, my wife, she's a photographer, so sometimes she go out to take picture of her clients, or sometimes she just take uh, catalog pictures of goods, products sent here, and then we basically do things at home.
One of the best photographer.
Putra.
And
Putra.
us.
What do you do, Putra?
Oh man, mine's the least interesting. I just look at all my shoes and wondering when the hell I can wear this out again. I'm like stuck in this small ass room and I can't even wear it. I go to Circle K sometimes just wearing different shoes, trying to feel like I'm going out.
I go to Circle K sometimes.
Yeah, man, because where else am I gonna wear this? Yeah, not interesting. Just
You can
trying
go
to live.
Saykoji's house. You can go
Yeah, even I was just wearing a simple shoe there, and he was like, "Oh, you gotta rock the Air Force Ones here." I'm like, "These are simple shoes." Yeah, but like other than that, I know it's really hard. I want to work out, but it's hard since I like group workouts. Since you can't do that, I'm just hibernating.
Excuses.
I'm hibernating.
Basketball
shut up.
on Zoom.
What is it?
can do Jamarr.
Where? I can't. There's no space for me to do basketball here.
I think he needs a lot of space. He may not be that coordinated.
Oh, that's how you gotta do.
Stop.
Are you talking about your NBA team, huh? All the Sixers? Philadelphia Sixers sucks.
Hey,
Yo,
say that.
hey,
Oh,
hey.
wait. That's the question. That's the question. What is everybody's favorite
NBA team.
Yeah, you know what? Before you go into that, that's something that I see as very common in America, is that you have this city pride, your sports team. It's something that people start to have that here, but mostly if you're into soccer, like you're proud of your city, but it's not really like that big. Like if you're from New York, like you're proud of where you're from, like from NYC.
New York, not really. Nick sucks.
I'm not good. Yeah.
Not back in the day.
Not making it. Yeah. So basically, there's this something that's good. Like I've seen like American people do. Like you're really proud of where you're coming from. Like you want to represent. And I started to understand that. So I think that's the thing that also it helps to what do you call it? Like to build the sport industry when you're like proud of your own city.
So let's ask, which one's better, Philly or Jersey?
But team-wise, no, that's the thing though. I'm an athlete, so I respect the craft. So I take something from every player. So I don't have a sports team. I'll be going to the Sixers games. I'll be just watching the game. They're like, "Why you like that shot?" I'm like, "It was a good shot, bro." Like, what do you mean? Kevin Durant playing against the Sixers, and I'm just going to vote for the Sixers? Nah. I just like good players, and I like. Actually, my favorite. I had to pick a team. It's the Houston Rockets, was because of Tracy McGrady. He was my favorite player. So I like the Rockets to this day, but I'm not like a hardcore like fan. Especially out here, it's hard to watch it. Like the time difference. Actually, I'm so detached from American media. It's like ridiculous. Like I don't know what's hot in the streets right now. I don't know anything. I mean, just social media. That's it for me. So
maybe a good thing though.
it's a great thing. I know. Seriously, because I'm like, yo, like I don't really care. I mean, I like the game. Actually, no. But when I went back to America and I was there for 8 months when I tore my Achilles last year, I really started to feel like I grew up on those things and I actually valued them. But being in Indonesia, I learned to hate them because they're not here. So like I would cast it off like, oh, basketball is not that important. But I was in the States and I was like, oh, the game's on tonight. Let's go. We gotta watch the game. I don't know. I think it's like based on where you at. Like if you're in the States, like you gotta go to the game. You gotta watch the game. Like that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Like if you're over here, you kind of like, I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. Nah, I'm straight.
Yeah, I can attest to that because I don't really follow basketball, but last time when I was in LA 2 years ago, I went to watch this Lakers and Houston game, and it was massive. I mean, like there's nothing like it. You know, I get to see basketball players. I get to see LeBron James, you know, on the field. You get to see other celebrities there, you know, on the camera. Like that's something else, man. Like sports event, it's huge. It's very huge. Like I just found out that one of my friends is actually down there behind LeBron sitting. He bought tickets. That's crazy.
Oh, the photographer guy?
No. Baim Wong.
And then it's lit too, like the music. It's like a concert and like a party and a game at the same time. Like you lit, like you turned up all the way.
Yeah. How about you, Yosi?
Well, my favorite team and every season is different, but my all-time favorite, perhaps Boston Celtics.
Stay.
We're not friends anymore.
Can't be friends anymore.
But why Boston Celtics though? Why?
I don't know. I think they have a very good management. They have very good also in keep the team strength. When they find a new player, when they try to make a trade, all the time, Celtics is always on top. You know, the way I see it. They're even better than Lakers in last years.
Ito better not hear this.
Yeah. Well, I like Lakers, but for me, Boston in terms of team management, they're better.
Because they didn't get LeBron, mustn't they?
I think after this, a lot of people will understand Yosi.
Okay.
A lot of people who's watching out there, I'm gonna unfollow.
Well, I mean, you're from New York, but you've always been like Philly teams.
Yeah, I liked Philly teams even when I was in New York. But I wasn't a New York Knicks fan like when Patrick Ewing played back in those days. So I have his jersey and John Starks and Charles Oakley and all those guys. I liked the Knicks when they were there. They just kept choking when they got to Chicago Bulls or they got to the Heat, and I was just like, okay, I had enough of this. And then when I was in the league, that was it. I was a Sixers fan. I watched them do Georgetown, and that was it. I was a huge fan.
How about you, Putra?
I just like to pick the team so I can, trash talk the losers. I was there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, see, I just like watching the game, but just so that I can, trash talk Jamie. whoever he's choosing, I'll be on the other side.
Kocak. Okay, all right, everybody. I know it's like what is it? Like 11:30 ya di Jakarta, and it's 12:30 in Bali. So thank you for your time. Seru banget ngobrol-ngobrol. Appreciate it. Hopefully one day we can do this maybe together, maybe in Bali one day, right? Hanging out with you.
Good idea.
God's plan.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. Stay healthy. God bless you all. We'll talk soon.